You may sit. Welcome to the Spokane Fire Department's training facility and the graduation of our academy class. My name is Brian Schaefer. I'm the fire chief of the Spokane Fire Department, and it's my honor to welcome you and speak on such a great occasion marking the success of all of our 9 firefighters or candidates as they graduate from their academy. Getting here was no accident. It's a lot of hard work, perseverance, learning, sacrifices both physically, mentally, and at home, which, after speaking with the majority of the people in the crowd, it's you. And your sacrifices are so important to the success of our fire department, our organization, and what we do. Also for developing a passion when they were here at the training center for the skills that they need to survive this dangerous career. So over the past several weeks, they've achieved success through lots of failures. They've worked hard to overcome every challenge that we put before them. They've learned from their mistakes. They've embraced teamwork as not only a way to do business, but the way that they survive. So I want all of you to know just how incredibly proud myself, our command staff, our training staff, and the entire Spokane Fire Department organization is of you. I had the opportunity to hire each one of the men and women seated on my left. They came from pools of hundreds of qualified applicants. They passed arduous written tests, physical exams, physical agility tests. They interviewed with a number of our colleagues across the department, and they proved to me when I met with them individually that they were the right person. What they were bringing wasn't necessarily a fit, but they were bringing something with them, basically all of their experiences and their passion for serving to our organization. So over these past several weeks, the instructors taught hundreds of individual skills. They perfected, they integrated to make it work as a team. They demonstrated through repeated practice and testing that they are the right person for this job. So as they enter the system, in our deployment system, we call it going out into the stations, I want all of you to remember that as firefighters, that title comes with a lot of responsibility. And like I spoke before, you're building on the successes of all your predecessors. And speaking of that, I would like to identify just a couple special people who's taking my picture right now, but Captain Doug Bacon is in the background, as well as Rob Balt from Fire District 9, and I ran across a very good friend of mine and one of my best supporters, Steve Jones, and lastly, Tori Wright, which is around here with the camera, who was actually on duty and came off just to help us make photographs. I also want you to ask firefighters every day that you come to work, what can I do to improve the organization, the community, and then actually follow through and do it. The Spokane Fire Department is an organization based on improvement and learning. We're based on inclusion and fairness, and most importantly, we live our mission through service, both on duty and off duty. So thank you for your continued hard work and dedication throughout the academy. Welcome to our family, and welcome all of you to our family. The more broader fire service is definitely embracing everybody in this room that's here to support you. And I sincerely can't wait to see what you're going to achieve. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Rex Strickland. I'm the Deputy Fire Chief of Training, and it's an absolute honor to be here in front of you guys. For our friends and family, what an incredibly proud moment to be watching these nine folks make such a big leap into service as the Fire Chief spoke about. A couple things I wanted to talk about. They've heard me over time and during their stay here at recruit school about the mission. So something that they heard the very first day was a pretty profound quote. I'm not here for me, I'm here for we, and we are here for them. And these words were made famous by the Anchorage Fire Department. Folks around the fire service use this on a regular basis to talk about what we do and how we're centered. The principle must be the foundation of today's contemporary fire service, but more importantly, the Spokane Fire Department. It's always about them, not them, but them and them. That's why we're here. We're not here for us. We are here for the people that we serve, the visitors, the citizens of Spokane. Them is defined by our mission. Our mission is number one. Our mission is defined by the citizens and visitors who expect the SFD to intervene in their lives, to make their worst day the best day, even on routine interaction, whether it's a smoke detector or a young child in the grocery line. We're here to make a difference in their lives. So the question I'd like to pose to this nine is, do you put yourself first, or will you be first? And those two things are vastly different. With exception to behavioral health, really managing how we deal with the things that we see every day, I would argue that you're not first. They are first. The mission is first. It's mission, men and women, and then me, or then you. And that should transcend through all ranks as we move up, as you guys move up. So in your current position and the things that you'll deal with and learn and push through in your first year, or when you're getting ready to retire, or maybe when you're leading this department, which I wholly expect, it'll always be mission, men and women, then you. The mindset should follow us our entire career. So where should you be first? If you're not first, where should you be first? And you should be first to make the coffee. You should be first to check the air pack. You should be first to check your rigs and everything in the compartments. You should be first to the rig. Doesn't matter if it's 0300 or if it's for an alpha call, you better be the first to the rig. And that doesn't stop after Gold Room. You should be first to don your gear, to get into the rig, first to mask up, first to be ready to go in. You should be first to wash the apparatus, first to clean the dishes, but last to go to bed. Those are really important. And they're not that's not a designation in your first year. That should be forever. And people will follow you. As a captain, you should be first, and they will follow you. They'll follow your tempo. So be first. So your reputation really is very important in the fire service, but maybe not in a manner that you think, right? So reputation could be just simply having people like you, but that's not what that's about. Your reputation is built on the foundation of what you bring to the table every single day. So your integrity, your work ethic, your relentless grit, that's what's going to build your reputation. Not if you make people laugh, not if you just simply comply, but your integrity, your grit, and your work ethic. So your integrity, can you be trusted? Do you do the right thing? Is your trust based on your willingness and ability to do the right thing? Or is your trust based on maybe covering up the wrong thing? The integrity is really important. The right trust is important, and it'll follow you far beyond your first year. Your work ethic. Do you only work hard when you're told? Do you only work hard when people are looking? Or are you working hard when no one's looking? Because that's important. Something we did their first day was to throw a random piece of paper out in the hallway just to see who was going to pick it up. That's what makes the difference in who you are. Do you walk past it or do you pick it up even when no one's looking. Your work ethic, it's so critical on how your peers look at you. But more importantly, it's reflected on how you perform for the mission, the neighbors that we serve every single day. Your work ethic will build performance, and that performance is expected by the people that pay for your paycheck every day. It's expected that you work hard. Your relentless grit. Can you make the long push? The long push is a reference we make down a dark, smoky hallway, trying to stretch a 2.5, which is really heavy. But can you make the long push in life and in your career? They'll judge you on that. Or do you quit? Do you give up? Do you cut corners? I don't think so. Your mental fortitude has to be first every single day. Can you make every day a training day? Or is it going to be an act your first year? A mission-centered mindset is important. Not only is it right, but it'll carry you through the dark days, through ethical crossroads, and times where you may simply want to fit in instead of doing the right thing. The mission-centered mindset will pull you through those days when a citizen may challenge your integrity, may challenge your grit, may challenge your ethical foundation. If you cultivate that mission-centered mindset, it'll carry you through all those challenges. So be humble. We're all one bad decision away from being homeless. We're sworn not to judge. We're sworn to serve. That's what we do. We serve people. How they look, how they live, where they live, what they represent, the decisions that they may have made, they're irrelevant. We serve people, period. It's an oath you'll make and an expectation that our neighbors have. Be humble. You've worked hard to be here, and while these words may sound like they're a mandate, with this extraordinary group of 9, it's simply a reminder. I was there with the chief when we interviewed him, and it was clear who we had in front of us. It was clear that what I just spoke about really didn't need to be something that we spent a lot of time in. They came to us with that foundation of serving, that mission-centered mindset. It's evident in how they carry themselves, their performance on the training ground, their group dynamics, their yearning to be better each day, and it's without question that these 9, all 9, will lead this department one day soon. No question. So remember, it's always about them. Them first. Them, our mission, our neighbors, our families are first, but our people, the great men and women of SFD, and you, are always mission first, people always. So you have our commitment as leadership in this department that we are behind you, because without you, we can't serve our mission. This cadre, our department leadership, is committed to ensure your success, and that will never stop, as you're the most valuable asset we have. Shiny red fire trucks are nice, but you are the most valuable asset that we have. So, congratulations to Class 1802. It's a profound pleasure to be here. I can't wait till you're pinned and watch you guys grow. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Shane Sanders. This is a day that's been a long time coming, a day that they have looked forward to. It's the first day they've ever seen me without a baseball cap on. They didn't even know I had hair. So, I'm one of the instructors that has had the privilege of training this fine group of young men and women. First of all, I need to thank my fellow instructors. This could not have happened without them. Captain Bruner, firefighter Sam Harvey, firefighter Zach Bursello, Lieutenant Dean Carr, firefighter FEO Casey Austin in the back. These guys worked their tails off to make this class happen. It wouldn't have happened without their efforts. I want to thank all of you guys for being here today as well. Just the fact that you're here supporting these firefighters is very important to them. It's important to us. And all the support that you've shown to them to this point, they're going to need it to continue. They're going to need it throughout the rest of the year. It's going to be a tough year on them. They know that, but they're ready for it, right? Okay. They represent the finest qualities that we look for in our recruit firefighters. They're intelligent, hardworking, trustworthy, and willing to put their safety on the line for the service of the citizens of this city. This is the 5th recruit class that I've been able to be a part of. And the thing that has impressed me most about this group is their camaraderie. They affectionately call themselves the Fellowship, and that camaraderie will carry them through the rest of this year and throughout the probationary year and their career. And they are a really tight-knit group. I mean, they started doing stuff together before the academy even started, and that was really awesome to see. Halfway through this class, they were presented with a change that I don't think any other class has ever had. Their 2 lead instructors, Dean and Zach, both had to leave. Sam Harvey and myself came down halfway through, and I was anticipating some sort of adjustment period, some sort of training hiccups, different styles of leadership. We saw none of that. They adjusted rapidly. They performed at a high level, proving that Lieutenant Carr and Zach had built a really strong foundation for them. It was easy to carry on after that. So thank you guys. Made our job easy. We got to do all the fun stuff. We got to go to North Bend. We got to cut cars apart, go to the mall, search the basement for hours on end, get lost, bigger than life. So it was a lot of fun. Some of you guys may be wondering, what do they do during a recruit academy? What exactly goes on? So during the last 16 weeks, we have trained these guys on basic firefighting skills such as fire attack, search and rescue, vertical ventilation, wildland firefighting, their favorite, hazmat awareness and operations. We expect a lot of our recruits, and we've trained them on some advanced skills that a lot of recruits don't get the chance to. They've learned how to size up buildings, initiate the incident command system, advanced building construction, fire behavior, survivability to include bailing out of a window with only a hook and a rope to save themselves with. They attended the Washington State Fire Academy in North Bend, where they were instructed in advanced fire behavior class, conducted search and rescue exercises in very challenging circumstances, performed fire attack in a 6-story burn building to simulate high-rise fires. They accomplished all of these tasks at a very high level of performance. The instructors at the State Fire Training Academy were very impressed with their proficiency. They even thought one of the recruits on the radio was a lieutenant. He did such a fine job, so I won't embarrass him, Seth. Every class, our audio and visual technician, Dean Percy, documents the training that they've gone through. He works behind the scenes to capture what they're being taught and their performance. And what you're about to see is a video that shows the highlights of their 16 weeks of training. I present to you the video of the class 2018-2.
As a child, you would wait and watch from far away, but you always knew that you'd be the one to work while they all play. And you'd lay awake at night and scheme of all the things that you would change, but it was just a dream. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that built this town. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that built this town. The time will come when you will have to rise above the rest and prove yourself. Your spirit never dies. Farewell, I've gone to take my throne above, but don't weep for me, 'cause this will be the labor of my love. Here we are, don't turn away now. We are the warriors that built this town. Here we are, don't turn away now.
Engine 7 rolling down the street. Engine 7 rolling down the street. About to get a little heat. About to get a little heat. Stepping up the line is Engine 8. Stepping up the line is Engine 8. You know damn well they'll never be late. You know damn well they'll never be late.
Good afternoon. My name is Ty Bruner. I'm the training captain down here at the fire department. Been here for not quite a year yet. I'm very proud of this group. I'm also very invested in this group, and because of that, At some point in this talk, I'm probably going to get all emotional about it, so by all means, go ahead and get your little laughing and giggling out now. I met each of the members of 2018-2 before the Academy even started because I had the privilege of being on their interview panel as well. I saw them come in dressed in their little suits, bright-eyed, nervous, and hopeful for a chance to be a Spokane firefighter. We went about this interview process a little bit differently than we had in the past, and we asked follow-up questions to find out not only what kind of pedigree they brought to their interview, but just simply what kind of people they were. We weren't just looking for someone that fit a job description, but someone that we would be calling our brother or sister. We learned about some of their triumphs and their failures. We learned about the guy that lived in his car through the duration of another academy because he wanted to be there that badly. We learned about the guy that didn't speak a word of English before 2015, but sat in front of us that day as well-spoken and as articulate as anybody that's lived in the United States their entire life. We met the guy that stared hundreds of feet down the mouth of a crevasse on Mount Rainier. It was the most afraid he'd ever been in his life, and he proceeded up to conquer that mountain. We met a guy that packed all his worldly belongings, including his high-end street bike, to go to San Francisco to be a bike messenger, only to get his bike stolen on the first day of the job. He persevered, got another bike, presumably a bike lock, and partied on to be a competent bike messenger in the mean streets of San Francisco. Incidentally, he rode his bike every day to the academy, day, light, dark, rain, snow, and scared the crap out of me. It's questionable whether or not my 15-year-old daughter will be getting a car for her next birthday. If she does not, I'm giving the car to him. After hearing some of these stories, I found myself wondering what I would have done in those same situations. We met a collegiate soccer player while a lot of other students were busy bouncing a quarter into a glass, who was giving more back to his community during his time at school than most do in a lifetime. We met a naval officer, a United States Marine, a professional basketball player, and a kid, the youngest of them all, who is cool, well-spoken, funny, and wicked smart, and knows full well that he has big shoes to fill because his dad is a highly respected battalion chief on this department. I was excited for the academy and to see them all on day one. On that day, I stood in front of them and I gave them my expectation speech. I told them to look around the room at the faces of their comrades, and told them that they were going to be their own strongest resources and support systems. That these were the faces that they were going to get to know over the course of a career. The cohesion and the unity that they developed far surpassed my expectations. Although I was already aware, my awareness increased as to what a special group they were. Along with that, so did my anxiety. I'm still a fairly wet behind the ears captain, and for all practical purposes, this was my first recruit academy. I was afraid that I didn't know enough, and that I wasn't experienced enough to give them the tools that they would need. I felt a crushing responsibility not to let them down, and it kept me awake at night. And then one day, another wet behind the ears firefighter by the name of Zach Brisello stood next to me and told me not to worry about it. In fact, what he said was, "Hey, I'm better at my job than you are." I said, "Is that so?" He said, my only job is to ride the back of engine 15, and I'm good at it." And he is. "You have a whole other job that I don't know anything about." I realized then that I didn't have to be the smartest person in the room, which is a stretch on a good day anyway. I only had to be smart enough to go find the smartest person in the room on any given subject. And as it happened, I was standing next to one of them. I'd like to take a moment to thank some of those smartest people in the room. Lieutenant Dean Carr has several academies under his belt. Thank you, Dean, for your knowledge, your wisdom, and experience in getting the academy off the ground. It wouldn't have happened the way it happened and the way it needed to happen without you. Lieutenant Carr had to leave midway through the academy to get shoulder surgery. A miracle by the name of Lieutenant Shane Sanders showed up to step in for the remainder. Shane, also a multiple academy veteran, willingly gave up his current schedule to transition to the dreaded daytime hours and see the remainder of the academy through. Shane, my brother, you are an amazing leader to these recruits. You are exactly what we needed when we needed it. And the rest of the academy was a success, especially the trip to North Bend, largely due to your presence and your efforts. Your actions and skill are a testament to the kind of firefighter you are, and more important, the kind of human being you are. You have my respect and my gratitude. Thanks, man. Chief Rex Strickland joined the department in August, mere weeks before the start of the academy. Not just because he was new, but because of the high level of professionalism he exudes every time he walks into a room. He exemplified the leadership quality of decentralized command. Simply, he let his officers do their jobs. He also stepped in on several occasions to teach, namely in the knowledge, skills, and abilities of search techniques. Chief Strickland is a nationally recognized speaker on the subject of search. People from across the country pay good money to listen to him talk, which I think is funny because I get to listen to him talk at length every day. He gave us support, he gave us leadership, he passed on his knowledge, and he stood with us as if he had been there for years. Thank you, Chief. I vote we do it again. Getting back to my man, Zach Purcello. After the conversation that we had about him being better at his job than I am and all that, the training division had a little powwow, and we decided that what we needed were some young, hard-charging, energetic adjunct instructors with their own recruit academy and not too distant memory. What we got were a couple of hyperactive kids named Zach Purcello and Sam Harvey. As anticipated, there was some eyebrow raising from others about why we were doing this. I just heard yesterday that it was equated to the second graders leading the kindergartners. I'm okay with that, and here's why. Those second graders showed up like hurricanes. They worked their tails off. They taught our recruits everything that they had the time to teach them. They built entire house layouts for search drills, tore them down, and rebuilt more. They got in there, they got dirty, they participated in every drill, demonstrated over and over until it was done right, and then they came to me and asked for more. They were professional, relevant, fun, energetic, knowledgeable, and one of the key ingredients to the success of this academy. I also know for a fact that these recruits love them. Isn't that right? Zach and Sam, I cannot thank you enough. I'd like to thank all the crews and operations that came down to teach and participate in hands-on training. Without fail, they readily and selflessly came down to the training grounds, sometimes for the entire day, to demonstrate and pass on their craft. To me, this showed their professional nature and demonstrated the culture of support and learning within this department. Thank you very much to all of you. Finally, I want to thank the recruits of 2018-2. We beat the crap out of them for 16 weeks. And the only complaint that I ever heard was that they didn't get to cut more stuff up with chainsaws. Well, I'm sorry. The weather was seldom pleasant. They worked in the rain, the cold, and the snow. They were tired and sore and frequently cut and bruised. They worked together and they supported each other. They formed into a team of friends and colleagues, like I said earlier, far surpassed my expectations. Thank you for your amazing attitudes. Thank you for your amazing work ethic. Thank you for being coachable. And thank you for being the amazing people that you are. There was a day very early on in the academy that had been especially difficult, and I went into the classroom to talk to them. I told them that they were here because of what they each brought to the table as individuals. I told them that they were all here for a reason. It wasn't an accident. And now 16 weeks has flown by, and I recall very clearly because it turned out to be the absolute truth. They are incredible people, and it has been my honor and privilege to be your captain. I have high hopes for this class, and as firefighters and brothers and sisters, I have high hopes for you. Thank you. So now, I'm happy to be able to present the award for the most inspirational recruit for this class. This isn't an award that's based on the selection of instructors or staff, and that's what makes it kind of special. This award is given based on the selection of peers. I've looked back over the years of recipients of this award and find it to be thoroughly accurate. In any given academy, a group of peers know an individual better than any member of the staff. They see that person for who they are inside and outside of the academy. This particular recruit not only inspired recruits, but staff alike. She was the only one of the entire class that was truly new to the profession. She'd never put on a pair of bunkers or thrown a pack, much less been in a fire. I knew this caused her a fair amount of anxiety, and she was worried that she didn't belong. At the beginning, I didn't know either. There's no way to know until you get a chance to find out what a person is made of. The first chance I got to witness this was on the first run through the combat challenge. She was not pleased with her first attempt. When she finished, I knew one of two things was going to happen. It was either going to be her undoing or it was not. I watched as she finished and she saw her time. I thought maybe her shoulders would slump and she would look down and be depressed or sad. Instead, red-faced and sweaty, she stood up straight, looked me in the eye, threw out a couple of expletives, and said, "How long before I get to go again?" I knew what the result was going to be, and so do you. As the weeks went on, I watched the playing field level itself. I watched her begin to gain ground on her colleagues and new skills and abilities on the fireground. I also watched how she interacted with the other members of her class. She fit right in there, and I knew that they were clearly on her side. The only time that I was ever concerned was when, for a very short period, it seemed like everyone was starting to see how good she really was, except for her. And then she took charge of her class over the weeks that she was designated as the recruit leader. She performed well at North Bend, where we go for a week of live fire and church drills for the second to last week of academy. And there was no doubt. I had seen some of her basketball highlight reels, and I got to see the same confident individual on the fireground that I saw in the clips. And with that, I am proud to give the award as an extension of her peers to our own Icelandic legend, Macaulay Feller. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. I'm not going to be long-winded and have any profound things to say, but here we go. My name is Sam Harvey, and I had the privilege of working with your loved ones the past several weeks. Thank you all for the support, patience, and grace throughout this process. We know that this commitment can be challenging, but I can tell you that it's well worth it. Training cadre, thank you for the work you all put into making this happen. I'm confident that the vision that this team has is going to lead our department and make a huge positive impact in the community that we serve. Now to address the recruits, this has been a very fun, memorable experience. Your positive attitudes, hard work ethic, personal drive just made training you guys super easy. I was thoroughly impressed with your ability to work as a team and overcome any challenge we threw at you. I know that with the skills and the passion that you have for this profession, you're going to serve this community well. My last challenges to you is to live with compassion on and off the job and keep your lives balanced so that you can be the best firefighters that you can be when you show up to work. So you can serve those that you serve with and serve those out in the community, because that is our mission. I'm excited to work with you guys throughout the rest of our careers. It's going to be a fun time. With that said, I get the privilege of awarding the 2018-2 valedictorian. So these recruits were challenged physically and mentally and socially to be the best professional firefighters that they could be day one. The valedictorian excelled at all those challenges. He was able to work through any problem and come up with a solution. Not only did he have the highest class academic average, he also had the most gold stars awarded to him by his classmates. It was a pretty kind of awesome little grading scale that they had going. So with that being said, Seth Jones, I'm looking forward to working with you. Come up here and accept your 2018-2 valedictorian award.
Hello, I am one of the 2 hyperactive second graders you heard about, which I kind of like. We should get like a patch or a plaque, or a tattoo maybe. Be perfect. So I started off this academy thinking it as an opportunity for myself to come down and learn a lot of good stuff and come down here. But over the last 16 weeks, my mindset shifted quite a bit, and it wasn't an opportunity for me, but a privilege and such an honor to be part of your guys' academy. I'll always get to have my name on the corner of 2018-2. It was truly an honor to get to watch you guys learn and be there as you struggled through things, helping each other. It was truly my honor to get to be a part of your guys' academy, so thank you. So I'm kind of uncomfortable up here. This is a lot bigger than the soapbox that I'm accustomed to rambling on about. So the last thing I have for you is I've waited till today to share it with you because it's something that I learned from my mentors over the years that I've been riding on the back of fire trucks. And the reason I'm saving it for now, in front of everybody, in front of your families, your loved ones, our chiefs, our admin, everyone, is for accountability. And that's simply to extend a challenge of something that I work on, and I know Sam just touched on it, to extend it to you, to live every call, every shift by picking up this challenge. So your loved ones will hold you accountable to it because now they know about it. So it's your job to keep them accountable to this. And it's a simple mission and a simple concept, but it's so difficult. And that's to choose compassion. So often it's so easy to get tired or grumpy or frustrated. And our citizens deserve so much more than that. They might not smell like you. They may not look like you. They might not pay taxes like you, but they don't owe you a thing. You owe them everything. And to them, you are the last call. When they're cornered up against the worst tragedy they've ever faced, they get you. They're somebody's mother, they're somebody's father, so choose compassion. If it's the 5th time you've picked grandma back up and got her back into bed and tucked her in, choose compassion to do that with. If it's the 4th time you've moved the drunk guy out of the street and he just won't go to the hospital, choose compassion to do it with. Because at the end of the day, that's all you'll ever be, is just a hero to a little kid and a lifesaver to an adult. So do it with compassion. So that being said, now you have to keep them accountable for that, and me as well. I get the honor to present the John Knighton Top Recruit Award. So that's something that myself and the rest of the cadre have decided on. And one of the criteria that I kind of kept to myself, I'm like, okay, who would I want to see this? It was a compassionate member of the 9, and they all are. But it was someone who went out of his way to make sure the rest of you guys were getting along okay, that you were learning as you should, whether it was giving up reps on training evolutions to give it to someone who needed the work, who needed more time on the nozzle or on the axe. He was giving that up and being selfless and giving that to them, whether it was taking time out of his weekend to do training with them to bring people up to speed so they're not going to have as hard of a time. And that award goes to Nicholas Ulowitz.
I promise you're done listening to us. Okay. Every class, the class select one member of their group to represent them and present a speech to you. And they have selected the valedictorian, go figure, Seth Jones.
Goodness gracious. Where to begin? Can begin by getting my speech out of this little folder. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I have the honor of speaking to you today on behalf of Spokane Fire Department's recruit class 18-2. I see a few familiar faces in the crowd. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Seth Jones, and I was sentenced by a jury of my peers to 10 minutes of public speaking. Just kidding. It's truly an honor to represent these fine individuals. It is an honor and it's also a challenge to speak on behalf of a group, especially such an extraordinarily diverse group. Between the 9 of us, we come from Spokane, Colville, Kent, Montana, California. Gilmar came from Brazil. Learned English, got married, bought a house, and landed the best career in the city in 4 years. If that's not the American dream, wake me up. Our experience ranges from AMR here in the city to volunteering out in the districts to other paid departments, wildland. Sean was the sole EMT on a cruise ship. Collie was a professional basketball player in Iceland. We come from high school, we come from college, we come from the military. We come from college, then the military. We come from college, then the military, then back to college. We're introverts, extroverts, readers, athletes, explorers, thinkers, doers, numbers people, word people, engine people, dog people, good people, bad people. Okay, so there's no bad people, but we're all very different people. And one of the things that our training captain, Captain Bruner, he actually mentioned the exact same event, said to us early on in the academy is that we were all hired because we brought something unique and we each had a role to play in the class. It was not immediately apparent to me what those roles were, but even after the first week, I realized something very strange about this group, because I liked all of them. I genuinely like every single one of these people. Your people, and there may be those of you in the audience who like everyone that you meet. My dog is that way. I don't share that blessing. So that was the first strange thing that I noticed. I even like Connor. What's even weirder than that is that they like me. We all like each other, and personality-wise, it's probably the most diverse group of friends that I've ever been a part of in my life. But why does that matter? We're starting a career of professional public servants, hired to perform critical, even life-saving tasks in adverse conditions. Our mission, our commitment to the people of Spokane must go on and will go on 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, 7 days a week, regardless of whether or not we like each other. We're about to get split into 4 shifts and spread across all the stations, and we will never again work together as closely as we have over the past 16 weeks. So why does it matter that we get along so well? Well, it matters because it says some things about who we are as a class, as individuals, and who we will be as firefighters. The first thing it says about us is that we don't judge each other. We don't care if you're straight. We don't care if you're collie. We don't care if you're a man. We don't care if you're collie. We don't care if you're white. We don't care if you're Kevin. We don't care if you're a kid citizen. We don't care if you're Gilmar. We don't care if you're tall. We don't care if you're Connor. Red, blue, country, hip-hop, hunter, vegan, no matter who we are as individuals, we dignify each other as human beings by tastefully making fun of each other's flatulence. What we do is care about each other, whether it's helping Shampoo make a scavenger hunt to propose to his girlfriend, helping Nick get in shape on the weekends so he can keep up in the workouts, sharing study guides with each other. We've been there for each other since day one. Philippe stole my laundry after North Bend, and then he washed it. But I think the most remarkable part of this group, and a key part of why we get along so well, is their humility. I can't include myself in this section for obvious reasons. If we were all humble, there would be no one to brag about how humble we are. Don't get cocky about how humble you are, guys. They've made mistakes. I've also made mistakes. and we'll make plenty more. But in stressful situations, when things were going wrong, when mistakes were being made, they didn't point fingers, they didn't snap at each other, ever. It's weird, honestly. It's like if you had 9 kids and they just didn't bicker. You know, I don't know how you all got through your psyche valves. There's very clearly something wrong. It's almost like y'all are adults or something. Truly, though, they are some of the most humble people I've ever met. And I don't mean just that we know that we're at the bottom of the organization. We do. Or that we know how much we have left to learn. So much. No, the definition of humility that I'm getting at is not about where you are on the totem pole at all. It's about caring more about the mission than your position. It's about caring more about the whole than the glory or the status of your role. If one of us is strong where another is weak, we keep our patience and we lift them up. Where one of us is weak where another is strong, we're grateful for the hand and hungry to improve. We're competitive people by nature, so it's not just the humility to know that if you're on top, someone helped you get there. And it's not just the humility to know that if you're at the bottom, you can take a hand and keep your dignity. It's the humility to set your self-worth aside from the competition entirely and to hitch it to a deeper attitude of service. 2 of the biggest reasons not to like someone is because you think you're better than them or you're afraid they're better than you. We don't have that because regardless of what our grades or evals say, our worth is equal to each other. So why does it matter that a group of people with totally different personalities all ended up liking each other? Because of how we did it, with humor, compassion, humility, and without judgment. It matters because we did it naturally, without even thinking about it, because it's simply who we are, and it's the exact kind of public servants that we'll be. Today we graduate, but we're all still at the bottom of this organization, and we're going to stay there for a while. But I know everyone in this class has the attitude and work ethic to make it through probation. More than that, I trust they will stay humble even past probation as paramedics, drivers, lieutenants, captains, chiefs, mayors, governors. I don't see any of these people losing track of how lucky we are to walk the path we walk, how much we owe to those who have walked it before us, and our duty to those who will follow. So thank you to our friends, our family, our loved ones, all of you who have supported us through the last 16 stressful weeks and beyond, however you supported us. Whether you made us meal, did our laundry, watched our dogs, or just talked to us at the end of a long week, whatever it is, we thank you. We could not have made it to where we are today without your love and support. And thank you to the cadre. Thank you for everything you taught us, from the nitty-gritty basics of how to start a chainsaw, how to start a fire engine, to the broad lessons on leadership and service. Thank you for your faith in us and the investment of your time and goodwill into our success. You set the bar, you set the tone on how we treat each other. Next week we go into the stations with your names on our backs, and we won't forget that. Also, thank you for playing water polo with us. A wise man once said, there are 3 types of people in a crisis. Those who lack the strength to save themselves, those who barely have the strength to save themselves, and those who have the strength to save themselves and others. Class 18-2 came here to be the latter. To the cadre, to our loved ones, the strength that you've given us in our yesterdays becomes the strength we offer our community in our tomorrows. To Class 18-2, thank you for the honor of speaking on your behalf. I offer you all these final words. Stay calm, be brave, watch for the signs.
At this time, we're going to present the badges to the recruits as the symbol of them graduating from the academy. As each recruit is called up, I hope that they have informed you if you're going to be pinning their badge on them. If not, I will call your name out, and it'll be a surprise for both of you. So. first recruit to be pinned will be Connor Redding. He's going to be pinned by his father, Battalion Chief Ryan Redding. Also, as we're pinning, feel free to come out to the middle, take pictures. This is a moment for you guys as well. Kevin Goodlow. Kevin's going to be pinned by his wife, Sarah Bacon Goodlow. Jeff Brown. Jeff's going to be pinned by firefighter Nick Marsh, a friend of his from San Bernardino Fire District. Sean Shampoo. Sean's going to be pinned by his fiancee, Katie Martin. Seth Jones. Seth's going to be pinned by his parents, Evan and Madonna Jones. Nick Ulowitz. Nick's going to be pinned by his father, Snohomish County Sheriff's Deputy Frederick Ulowitz.
Whoa, hey, congratulations. Gilmar de Amorim. Gilmar's going to be pinned by his wife, Vanessa Amorim. Philippe Moore. Philippe's going to be pinned by his fiancee, Melva Byers.
And finally, Macaulay Feller. Macaulay's going to be pinned by her fiance, Maggie Warren.
Yeah, we're going to go off script here just for a second. I talked a little bit about how much of a privilege it was to be here, and those are normal things that chiefs say. But sitting in that chair and watching this and listening to some of the words tonight, it touched me. And honestly, I feel like right now that we're doing the right things. We're hiring the right people. People are taking leadership in the organization that I couldn't have predicted and I couldn't be more proud of. So I'm just and I wanted to pass this along to everybody that wears a uniform. And Craig Cornelius, a retired battalion chief, snuck in. I didn't mention that he came in earlier, so I wanted to recognize him and say thank you. But this is a pivotal moment for our organization. And being able to sit back like Craig and Doug and seeing the evolution of where we've been and where we're going, I hope that we're able to make you as proud as you were when you were here. So thanks everybody for coming. For me, I'll pass the baton here and make the formal closure. But thank you again, and I couldn't really express how proud I am of this organization and our people. Thanks.
So momentarily, I will dismiss the class. Following this, there are refreshments out in the foyer. Please hang around, mingle, get to know each other a little better. And last thing I want to say is thank you for giving us your kids, your spouses. I'm so proud to work with them. I'm so proud of them. Class, attention. Dismissed.